so I think I should make a video. I've been really depressed over the last few days. I think it's really, really depressing because, all these singers have just a body of work and they've achieved and they're doing things that I wanted to do and I couldn't do. And, the number of people on my angel list is just growing and growing and growing. And it's making me feel more and more depressed because it's like, it's just evidence that something is happy to help all these people but isn't happy to help me. I feel completely cut off because I feel like this world is just full of robots or AI people, and they're all just living life as if anything can happen, as if like what's going to happen next week or next month or next year, and it's very, very depressing because I'm thinking about when I was younger and, all the dreams and all the things that I wanted to do, and believing that if I just tried enough or pushed a bit harder, you'd achieve it. And then you just realize that actually that wasn't the case. That was never the case, that I'm just stuck, that I can audition for hundreds of things and I won't get anything because I won't get anyone responding to me. And therefore living like this is very depressing because it's just a constant reminder of how you're not living and how you don't have any opportunities, and that everything that other people can do is not something you can do because this world is just full of robots. I don't know what this world is. They're full of robots. And I guess the number of angels grew and grew and grew. And I thought the first 100 were all from, the first cavemen or Martin's children. That kind of made sense. But now that the list is more like 300 rather than 200, a possibility has always been on my mind that maybe that people are just seeing what I'm doing and they're just creating more and more, basically, and then to realize that all 300 of these people are on a list that have their birth dates, and their birth dates are literally designed to point to something or to say something according to who they're born on the same day as or next to. I think if they're born one day apart, it shows how there's a similarity, but because they have both positive and negative names, it might just be like it's a good match on the positive name, but a semi good match on the negative name. I haven't come across any that don't have a good match unless there's a few days gap in between. I think if there's a few days gap, that's just a refresh. But yeah, it's very bizarre to think that all the people on my list have not just, it's almost like they've been chosen from birth, and just to think that all these opportunities that they have was something that my higher self actually knew and actually chose the birthday. I mean, I feel like this is very, very complicated, and that jigsaw puzzle image of me trying to do that jigsaw puzzle with a baby on one side and a computer on the other, it's coming into my mind, and it feels like what I'm doing now. I'm looking at all the birthdays and trying to create a 1 year calendar. I feel like the marriage is going to be 14 months because that's how long Britney Spears' marriage has lasted for with that guy who looked like the Rylan, or a little bit like him, not very much like him, a little bit like him. And therefore, but that is the truth. If it starts around July time, or middle July, I think if there is some sort of show, it should probably start July the 19th, because that's when there's a birthday of the Liberty X girl, and then and Angel of Appearance Gabrielle is on that day, and then on September the 13th, I think it should turn in. So it will start on July 19th, and it will go through till September the 14th. But yeah, and it will just get worse and worse throughout the year. Although I feel like how it should play out, or what should happen, I don't know, because I don't want people to know me. I don't want people to get an opportunity to know me, and I'm feeling incredibly heavy and like tired, like I can't get up, and like it's not bliss. I mean, it is bliss. It's this same thing would have been bliss if I would have felt it years ago. But right now, my mind is in just such a negative mood because I feel like I have no opportunities, and there's nothing I can do to change it. And it, it's like I'm living in a world full of millions of robots, and the robots are just going to do what the robots do, and there's nothing I can do to change their mind, because they're all robots and they don't realize that you're robots. And there's a girl that's been following me on my friend list for a very, very long time, who I knew from Sylvia's. And yeah, she was just posting some pictures on her Facebook about her still being a Christian and being happy a Christian. And it just feels horrible to think that that girl has been following or been on my account for the last for the last 20 years, and she must have seen the posts that come through about me being God, about me believing it, and she's never once taken any interest in me. I feel like that's just, it's bizarre. How could someone do that? If you believe you love God and you're interested in God, and you've got, and you know someone who believes that she's God, and is posting regular things over and over again, I don't know why she's on my friend list. I know a lot of them did. Most of them did. I had quite a lot of people that I knew on my Facebook list, and not a lot, but there was about 100. I'm sure that at one stage there was about 100, but they all um, they all unsigned me at the beginning. When I first started believing in God, that's when I noticed a lot of them dropped off. But it didn't bother me. That was just normal. They don't believe whatever. But yeah, it's annoying to think. It's worse to think that someone's been following me for 20 years and they still want to praise God the Father. It's just like, I think I think she's got a death wish. That's the only thing that can conclude to me. Um, and I think there's still about 4 people or something that I know on there, but do they believe? I don't know. They haven't said anything to me, but then no one's saying anything to me. So I I think I always thought that she was following me because she did believe. She just didn't want to say anything. So to see her almost aggravate me with Christian posts about, I don't know, there was some woman praying over a bed, being like, "Yes, we're about to give birth now, and we're going to praise the Lord for this beautiful birth that's about to happen." Oh, fuck them! I really, really hate Christians. Really, really hate Christians. Really, really hate them. Um, and it's, my life is just so awful, and it's you're never going to experience this, because you're never going to feel like you have absolutely nothing you can do in your life other than to just suffer. You're made to suffer. That's how I feel like my whole life has been. Like there's no point of even thinking about doing anything else, no point of trying anything else. It's just going to be suffering, and you're never going to do anything, and then you're going to have to put up with knowing that people are following you for 20 years, posting, seeing all your posts about how you believe you're God, and you know how the Bible should be changed or interpreted, and how you're creating the angels, and how the all the songs that are being, millions of billions of songs that have been formed are all linking to your daily life according to what you click on that day. But there's going to be some people that are still going to give a shit about God the Father, and the absolutely nothing proof that backs him up as being the truth. And it's just, this world is just robots. I'm just living in a planet full of robots that never give me anything, or never do anything for me, or never try and help me. And I know I don't want to do Big Brother. I don't want to be on a show like that, because it's full of robots. It's being controlled by robots. I don't want to have anything to do with these robots. I don't know what humans are. That they're just dumb, stupid, not even animals. AI, I think a lot of them are. So I'm feeling in a really bad mood. Um, and and it's and I noticed how Shannon died 2 days ago. I only found out yesterday. And of cancer battles that she's been facing. I don't know. She would have been someone I would have wanted to meet. I think I heard that there was a lot of arguments during the show that she was on, but I guess, I don't know. She would have been someone I might have wanted to meet, you know. But it might be strange though, if you know a character and you know them when they're looking young, and then you see them 20 years later. It's just, this is horrible. Why have you fucking made me wait 20 years? I don't want to see these people when they're all old. I want to see them when they're young. This whole world is just so I'm never going to be able to see those people. Why? Because now they're all 20 years older. They're all very different people. So I don't feel like I have any interest in watching them. I don't have it, or wanting to meet them. Why? Because I'm just going to be like, well, you're not the person I know. You're different. You look different. It's like, I want to meet them, yes, but I wanted to meet them 20 years ago. I wanted them to meet them when I first started believing that I was God. And then, and just bit by bit, this world just picks at you and just doesn't give a shit, and then just continues as normal. And then you have to, and then you learn that actually all these birth dates were chosen. Even ones you only found last week, their birthday was chosen too. And it's just, how can I live like this? Yeah, it's interesting how that shooting thing. Okay, my first report when that I heard about Donald Trump shooting was that I had nothing to do with it. That's got nothing to do with me. I don't know what this is. It's um, but yeah, because Shannon died like the same, like just before. I think it actually was, but I found out on the same day. Um, I don't know, and I've seen him now with that big white patch on his ear. Reminds me of that lion. Um, and what I was saying about the guy who I thought was Muhammad. Said he didn't want his ear chopped off. And I said, if I had my ear chopped off, I'd turn into one pissed off lion. So he kind of looks a bit funny with an ear patch. I think it's okay. I think it's just a scrape or just a cut. I think. So yeah, it was close, but apparently the guy who shoot was a bad shooter. But at the same time, because you're a bad shooter, that doesn't mean that you can't, shoot. Maybe you mean to miss and you actually get it. So I don't know. My first thought was it was a publicity stunt. Is he'd get a lot of publicity, he'd get a lot of Republicans who probably might not like him, but they might vote because they might think, sympathy vote, or they might think that God saved him for a reason, or um, but yeah, he needs to be careful because there are a lot of snipers out there, snakes. And it's interesting that it was in Pennsylvania. And I did notice, I heard something in my voice, in my head, say, find out which angel's from Pennsylvania. It turned out to be the angel of the witch. And it was, and Shannon was a witch when her character was a witch. So I did see a link there. And also quiet people, actually, the angel of the quiet people. Yesterday, the angel of the quiet people was also from Pennsylvania. But it's like a very complicated jigsaw puzzle, one that seems way more complicated that I don't understand why I would even do, because it's like, would I really know that he's going to be shot in Pennsylvania and then deliberately make the angel of the witch born in Pennsylvania? And is her whole career based on because I chose someone in there, or have I put the soul that I wanted in there? And it's a bit complicated thinking about it, and it's horrible to think that just something, my higher self, is just doing so much and yet doing absolutely nothing for me. And I'm one that's saying all this. How many other people noticed that there was something weird about these birthdays, that there was a lot of links, that had you already done this whole list, and maybe you did this list, the birthday list, a few years ago, and you've just been seeing at the angels that I expose and adding them to the list, and getting more and more surprised by it. I mean, I don't know, is that what you've been doing? If that's what you've been doing, why are you not telling me? Why are you not doing any? Why are you not trying to help me? I don't feel like anything is trying to help me other than a spirit that's just fucking ruined my life. And it's making it clear that everyone else has a possibility of chance of doing things, but I don't. I'm really pissed off. I had a dream last night that someone broken into my kitchen and was stealing bits one by one, but I didn't really realize that at first. I first went in there thinking something's missing, and I was like, my fridge is missing. And I looked around, there's no fridge. And then I was like, oh, no, the fridge is supposed to be over there, because it was in a dream. You don't really remember where things are supposed to go. Like, you don't know you're dreaming, but you know that something's, and oh no, the fridge is there. Okay, the fridge is fine. So what is missing? And then it's like, oh, this is where the hob is. And then I quickly go out to see if there's anyone else in the house, because I felt like someone's maybe in the house and stealing stuff. So I want to see if anything else in the house is missing. And then I look outside the door. Oh, then I come back and find that the kitchen sink is also gone. So another thing is gone. So it's like someone had just gone into the kitchen, stolen something, and then ran out. And then I looked, and I did actually see a man, and I quickly locked the door. Um, and then I went into the room, the kitchen again, and he was in there, but he'd actually locked himself in. And it's just a bizarre dream. But yeah, there was just, and then I woke up, and what was I thinking though? I was thinking that something's going to happen soon, something's going to end soon, and I only need a new kitchen for 3 months. And the idea, I didn't mind getting a new kitchen because I do actually need a new kitchen. My kitchen's pretty shit, and but the reason why I don't buy a new kitchen is because I keep believing that I only have a few months. For the last 2 years, I've always believed that I only have a few more months left. So the idea of spending £3,000 on a kitchen when I'm not going to be using it doesn't sound good. But I'm convinced now that something is going to happen in October, but I don't know. Um, but yeah, that's what my thought was. I don't mind getting a new kitchen, so maybe I should just let them take the whole kitchen, um, because then I don't have to spend money on getting a skip to get rid of the kitchen. Um, but I was also thinking that I've only got 3 months left, and I didn't want to spend £3,000 for a kitchen I was only going to use for 3 months. So yeah, I that was the dream. But is that the truth? I don't know. Um, have I only got 3 months? Not the kitchen part. People aren't going in my kitchen stealing stuff, but